Hey, how's it going, everyone? It is Thursday night. I had to think about that. Haven't made a video for a couple weeks. Thought I better make one before I head up to the cottage. Not sure if I'll get to garage sales this Saturday or next Saturday, or maybe even the Saturday after that. Just the way the cottage timing works out, and when we come back and leave, certainly going to try and look for permanent yard sales, garage sales on my way to the cottage. And during the week, last year I did pick up some things in Bob Cajun and the kind of Kawartha Lakes area. So we'll see if that happens again. But anyway, I wanted to do a quick video, talk about yard sale finds over the last 2 weeks, some thrift pickups, trying to do this from memory, just a lot of different things that I picked up. So I think I'll start with, I guess I'll talk about some yard sale finds. I think they're probably the most interesting. Two weeks ago now, there's only about 15 yard sales listed in Guelph. That's kind of been the trend lately. And so I, did my research kind of the night before. There was kind of a route that I had planned, and one of those routes was to kind of do Guelph and then go out to Rockwood to a yard sale. And but what happened was, the night before, or not the night before, the morning of, I had another look at the Rockwood sale, and the person actually posted a Nintendo right in the picture. So that kind of changed my route, and Matt and I ended up going to Rockwood first. And when we got there at about 7:45, and the person was putting out, or had already put out, a Nintendo, and this really cool crate, actually. So Coca-Cola crate with some good games, as I'm gonna spill them over here, and a really clean Nintendo too, actually. So games were, I have most of these, but Tetris, a 5-screw copy of Soccer with a manual, Bart Simpson versus the Space Mutants, RC Pro-Am, love RC Pro-Am, which I always think it should be worth more than it is, but it's not. Skater Die, Super Sprint, Tengen, Blades of Steel, Super Mario Bros. 3, and it has the manual in it. So of course I have all of these. I think the only one I didn't have was the 5-screw copies of Soccer and Golf, actually, and then they have the manuals with them. So regardless, nice to find. And then the Nintendo itself is actually really clean. Came with 3 controllers, all the adapters. The person told me that it has an error code on startup, and I kind of didn't believe him because Nintendos don't have error codes. It needed a new power brick, which I had a spare one. Otherwise it works fine. It probably works better than any Nintendo I've ever seen, which is pretty crazy. Every game worked every time, except I think once. And out of all the games I tested, I actually was a little bit beside myself with how well it worked. So I may make this my permanent Nintendo and then sell one of my other ones. Selling video games in general lately has been tremendously difficult. Prices are dropping, in my opinion, and what I'm seeing online. Retro consoles, what I think are priced incredibly low, still don't move. There's no interest, which is a bit scary. In my case, I paid $45 for Nintendo 3 controllers and 9 games, some manuals and cases. So my thing is to basically keep the content I want and then resell it at, in this case there's a lot of games there, so we'll see what I sell for, but basically make my money back and break even. Now that would be an incredible deal for someone to pay, $45 and get all those games, or most of those games, but that's my intent, I think. So anyways, that was in Rockwood. Glad to grab that, and then headed back into Guelph. And on the way back into Guelph, I drove by a garage sale and picked up this little retro machine. These were selling for like $20 a few years ago. Bought it for $1. Still works. Anyway, so I thought I'd add that to the collection. And then in town, East End of Guelph, Wii U title, New Super Brothers U. I, of course, have the full copy on my Switch, but as you may know, I picked up a Wii U a few weeks ago, so glad to add that to the collection for $5. Then actually found some modern Choose Your Own Adventure books. So 3 books. These were 25 cents each. Journey Under the Sea, Space Beyond, The Lost Jewels of Nabuti, Your Booty. But then the very next sale, vintage Choose Your Own Adventure. So the Green Slime, You Are Invisible, and the 3 Wishes. So that was cool. Those were 25 cents each. I think at that same sale, I picked up a modern Star Wars Jedi Starfighter. It has the droid that's sort of removable. I have a few of these. I actually don't know. I think this is Plo Koon's ship, but I'm not sure. And at the same sale, I picked up a modern G.I. Joe Destro, and I think this is Plo Koon. Sorry, Plo Koon. And a little Mario. He's kind of got some nose rubs on him there, but grabbed a Mario. So I think the ship and the characters were $5. Also picked up, I have this already, but grab another one. Tetris Link. So this is a modern Tetris game. Looking at my Tetris games, I know I have this somewhere. Anyway, so it's complete. I'll probably sell it. And the other one was, saw this Garfield container. They had $1 on it. If I can open it. And it's actually full of not just the McDonald's Garfield toys. There was 3 of the, I think 4 Garfield toys in here. So the scooter, kind of him in the Safari Jeep. I'm not holding that very well. Safari Jeep, Garfield, skateboard Garfield. But then there's actually old stuff in here too. So I had some of these when I was a kid. I recognize this one, Garfield. I don't know, what is this? A giant eraser, perhaps? There's another one. Garfield there. It's actually a really old Garfield candle, so wax candle. And then 2 more older Garfield kind of like plastic toys. So there's these 2 here. Anyway, so that was $1. So that's cool. I have most of these Garfield McDonald toys at home or around just from other yard sales, but I was glad to add the other vintage stuff. So that was $1. And then he was also selling some modern Star Wars toys. These are like the metal ones, so they're having them in this bag. So those are nice little Y-Wing, Millennium Falcon, the Jawa Sandcrawler, Star Destroyer, and the Death Star. And then these all actually have the, oops, as I dropped it, cool. These all actually have the stands for them too, so I think they were $1. So I think I might have spent $5 at that sale. Anyways, that was cool. And then continuing on around Guelph, there was a yard sale that I did post about. I picked up this one game for, Enchanted Arms for $2. And then I ended up going back because I posted a picture. And someone on Instagram said I missed something, and he was right. I was definitely missed this. So SpongeBob Bikini Bottom, I went back because I had to do another errand, and anyway, it's empty. So he just gave it to me. So I actually had a lot of empty games. He didn't realize. So I think I paid $2 for these. Some of these are empty though. Xbox Music Maker, Need for Speed Underground 2. This is actually worth some money, surprisingly. Connect Rush Disney Adventure. And Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone seem to carry some value. I'm surprised by the Connect one, but anyway, I grabbed those for $2. And that was pretty much it for 2 weeks ago. So, as you know, I also thrift. I'm going to do a quick talk about some thrifting. I actually picked up, wanted this for a while. I haven't had it. So, Super Mario Brothers All-Star, the 25th anniversary on Wii. So, picked that up at Valley Village. This cool little R2 droid. I don't know what it's from. The leg has the 3rd leg that goes up and down, but it doesn't stay down. The head opens like there was something in it at one point. So I grabbed those. And I grabbed this. I already have one of these on the shelf, but another one. Donkey Kong Jenga, super collectible, really nice to display. This is unfortunately missing the Marios that go on the sides. That is part of the game, but you can still play it like Jenga. But it looks great, just sitting on the shelf. Love the colors on that. So I grabbed that. That'll be for sale. Lots of cassettes. Actually, I'll just talk about cassettes. These are all from Value Village. So David Lee Roth, the Eagles' greatest hits. Let me do this better. It's cool. Batman Forever soundtrack. Tiffany, Huey Lewis and the News 4, and In Excess the Swing. What else? These are actually recent ones. I have these, but these are for sale. Millie and Vanilli Girl, You Know It's True. Millie Vanilli. This is a funny one. Jive Bunny and the Mixmasters. If you guys remember this from like I think the 90s. Terrence Trent D'Arby. I used to listen to this on the bus. Wishing Well. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves soundtrack with Mr. Kevin Costner. Tears for Fears. Shaggy. This is a great album. Shaggy. And White Zombie, Astro Creep 2000 with Rob Zombie. That's a cool album. And Madonna Like a Virgin. This is a great one. Jurassic Park movie soundtrack. I love soundtracks, in case that wasn't obvious. And then in Toronto this weekend, I went to a Value Village and didn't find anything. And then there's a thrift store up the street, and I got Blue Rodeo on cassette, and that was $1. I think that's all the cassettes. And then probably the next thing would be all the way to this Saturday, because that cassette was in Toronto. I had an hour before we went to Toronto, so I went to the first yard sale actually up my street. PlayStation 3 for $5. I was hoping it was a FAT that was backwards compatible. It is not, however. So $5. I actually have not turned this on yet to see if it works. I believe it's a 60 gig hard drive. It looks completely untouched. All the stickers are where they should be, so no one's been messing with it. Anyway, $5. So I grabbed that. And then this is just kind of silly, but a modern Samsung USB-C charging fast charger for $1. Those are probably worth like $20. So that's great to just have around the house. Some PlayStation 2 games. This is a great game. I already own it, but Sonic Mega Collection Plus with all the Sonics on it. That was $1. These are all $1. Jewel 2 PopCap Games Hits. Shrek 2 and Shrek the Third. Whatever. And then this is like almost like a knockoff Quick Shot. So this is a Archer brand, from Radio Shack Nintendo joystick. I paid $5 for it. I like these oddities. The guy actually had a Super Nintendo for sale. With ActRaiser, which I actually wanted, but he would not sell the game separately, and he wanted way too much for the Super Nintendo. He also had a Nintendo that a kid had just bought. I can only assume the kid paid too much for it. It was with no games. And then he had a bunch of Sega Genesis sports titles, and they were $5 each, no question. You wouldn't take anything less, and they're like dollar games. I think I had them all anyway. So that was kind of disappointing. This guy runs a permanent yard sale. Normally his father runs it, who's probably in his late 80s. And then this was the son, who's probably in his 50s, demanding probably more than his father would have. Anyway, that was it for this Saturday for yard sales. Those very brief finds. Like I said, I was only out for an hour. And then actually on Sunday, this person who I spoke to early in the spring who had a yard sale, and she had a few things I wanted. She ended up posting on Facebook that she was moving like instantly and needed to empty her house out. So I went over there. It was a bit of a gong show. She actually had the thing I wanted from the previous yard sale that we were trying to negotiate a price on Facebook, but it never happened. But anyway, so I went over there. Her daughter was running the yard sale. I picked up the thing I wanted, which was this 1979 Tommy pinball machine. So I actually didn't have one of these. I have a lot of other kind of various of age pinball machines and real pinball machines, but I like the toy ones. Anyway, so her daughter, who probably was like 12, was negotiating the sales of anything basically on their driveway and on the ground. It was really sad. So I took advantage of that. So anyway, I got the Tommy pinball machine. I actually went through kind of like, they had boxes of boots that had video games in them. So Xbox controller, 360 controller, a little like AliExpress PSP knockoff. There's a PlayStation 2 I didn't bring down. It actually does not work. I might try and fix it. I don't know. A few games that were just like all over the place. Nothing great. Xbox Splashdown, IndyCar Series, Call of Duty Ghosts on Xbox One, and Mario Kart Wii, and a 42-inch LED 1080p television, smart TV. So anyway, $24 for everything. TV works. It's actually better than the TV I have in my own bedroom, so I'm going to swap it out. It was dirty, really gross. Cleaned it all up, and then oddly I found the exact remote for it the next day at Value Village. So I'm going to swap that out. Wi-Fi enabled, the whole bit. Really nice. So $24 for all that stuff. And that was pretty much it in terms of any remaining yard sale things. But I did pick up a couple more thrift items. So NHL 2002 on Game Boy Advance. This goes for like a lot of money, and I don't know why. It looks just like NHL 94, but anyway, I think I paid $3.99 for it. And then Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 2. So this, the guy ended up giving me 30% off in line just because I waited too long, so it cost $10. So I actually didn't own this, so I'm glad to add that to my collection. If you follow me on Instagram, I picked up a bunch of t-shirts. Some of those are for my wife. Actually, they're pretty much all for my wife. I think only one fit me, despite being a large. Just picked up a couple of games as well. Hot Shots Golf 4 for PS2. Sega Superstars Tennis on Wii. And actually forgot about this. Jelly Belly Ballistic Beans. I think this was in a yard sale mix that I just forgot about. I found it the other day. And then just yesterday, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2 on Wii, and a sealed copy, PSP Tron, the movie, UMD. And, oh yeah, Pittsburgh Penguin phone. So I'm going to sell this to some super fan. Works fine. It's got the Penguins logo on the top. So I picked that up. And I picked up a Dragnet vinyl. Ran into the mayor. We talked briefly just when I picked this up. Still run into him at Value Village. Oh yeah, and then this Jay's parking spot. This is not old by any means, and it's just like plastic or cardboard. But that was at the thrift store, so I'm going to throw that up in the garage. And if you follow me on Instagram, which I hope you do, you would see some of the mugs I picked up. I've been buying a lot of coffee mugs lately. So I actually own this. This is a really popular mug, awesome mug. Star Fox Coffee. Myself and Charlie, CJR, have this mug. If you want to be like us, there's the mug you want. 1996 Paramount Canada's Wonderland Scooby-Doo mug, Mystery Machine, really cool. It's Ed's mug, but really neat. Really like that. I like the color on it, and the fact that it's Paramount Canada's Wonderland before they got bought and changed the name. So that's pretty cool. And then this week picked up a few mugs. Motley Crue. Check that out. Motley Crue. That'd be great for work. Oops. Saskatoon Sweet Wolf mug. Look at the colors on that. And a Care Bears. It's got Cheer Bear, Grumpy Bear, and Tenderheart Bear coffee mug. It's pretty cool. So I grabbed those. That's it for thrifting. I went to the Aberfoyle Antique Market this weekend with my wife. The kids were away at their grandfather's, and picked up a couple of things. Actually, you hadn't seen this. I didn't know it existed. So Ninja Turtles 3 Shredder's Last Stand LCD game. Works. So I grabbed that. And then just threw in a bundle. I don't know why, but Ridge Racer 64. $15 for those two. Then another guy had, I'm a big Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's fan, so Wally World Christmas ornament, really cool. John Candy, Chevy Chase look-alike, a really poor look-alike of Chevy Chase. So I grabbed that and a Dirk figure from Dragon's Lair. He's missing some pieces. I looked him up online. He's missing, like, he has a sheath for a sword, and he's supposed to have some accessories that go in his backpack, but I just really thought he'd look cool on the shelf, so I grabbed him. So at the Aberfoyle Antique Market, there's some people that have some really cool stuff, and there's a toy collector in particular, or 80s, 90s collector that has some really great stuff. His prices are where they should be. There's a lot of stuff in there I could just pick up and buy, but I don't. And there's this other guy, and I've talked to some people on Instagram about him, and he has what I just call a garbage heap of stuff. It's just everywhere. It's in the dirt. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's a video game, you pick it up and ask him how much it is. It's pretty much like $20, and it could be the worst title in the worst condition. I tried to bundle some stuff together, and he was at the opposite end of the world, and it's like, you know, stuff that's I'm pulling out of holes and stuff like that. It's just really unfortunate. He must sell stuff. I don't know who. Every year I go there, and every year I walk away just kind of shaking my head with the crap he has just laying around, and some of it's really good and not taken care of. He had piles of Nintendo games, and like they have prices on them from when he bought them from someone else. Like, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, it's still a neat spot if you ever get a chance. If you're in the Guelph area, the Aberfoyle Antique Market is open on Sundays. Just a great spot to walk around. But otherwise, that's it. A lot of stuff. So that's about 2.5 weeks worth, I think, for my last video. And like I said, I'm going to the cottage this weekend, so we'll see if I find anything and then get another video posted. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. So if you like these videos, be sure to click like and subscribe. My social media links will be below. You can do that. And we'll talk to you later.